Hmm. Nigeria, Unado. If na Bini people, they go say Nigeria, Unado. Unado. Unado, Nigeria. Adipito, no. Wallahi, the government go finish una go understand, una eye go clear. Hmm? So let me know the moment, this is a live stream. I want to wait as long as you guys are ready. You can tell me at the comment section so that I can begin. I want to this evening look at the judicial abracadabra that has just happened. If many of you do not know, Ihedioha, the governor of Imo State, has been sacked. Sacked. Ngozi Onoha, good evening, my dear. So this evening I will take time and if need be I would give shout outs. But let us make this a very interactive section. This evening is about the Nigerian states and especially where my interests lie. I do not hide it and I have no apologies for that. My interests lie within the southeast Nigeria. That is what I call the Igbo nation. I am true son of the Igbo nation. No apologies. If you don't like it, make sure there is electricity near you. Go to the next transformer and do justice to yourself. Okay? So, good evening, everyone. And Anolue, Didi Amaka, Emi Sami, Ifeanyi Kinsley, I say good evening to all of you. This evening is a very disheartening one. I can't say that enough. It is a very disheartening one to read that the aeroplane driving Chief Justice of Nigeria has crashed, or rather, the way I put it on my Facebook page, I said he has finally driven the aeroplane and it crash landed in Imo State. Okay, so we will be discussing about judicial abracadabra in Imo State and the banning of Amotekun, that's the Yoruba vigilante. And there are things I need to tell us. Not many of you would agree with me, but hey, who cares? My job is to say it the way it is, and I want people to know the truth. It's only the truth that can set us free. So we will start with the, what happened in Imo State today. Imo State. Whew. Imo State. Emeka Ehedioha, for those of you who do not know, I will give us these statistics. Okay? I will give us these statistics. So let us start with Imo State. If you don't know, Imo State had an election and a governor was elected, and that governor was Emeka Ihedioha, who incidentally now is an ex-governor. That is Nigerian for you. The parties that contested that election were PDP. AA, that is PDP was Emeka Ihedioha. AA was Uche Nwosu. APGA was Ifeanyi Ararume. And APC was Hope Uzodinma. YPP or Hakim. Now there is interesting thing here. Or Hakim scored 527, only 527. Hope Uzodinma 96,458. And Abga, that is, Hope Uzodinma was APC. Abga was Ararume 114,676. And Uchenwo's, that is Okorocha's son-in-law, was 190,364. Then you have the Emeki Hedioha, who was declared the winner of that election, scoring 273,404. Okay, so that is in a place where we have common sense. That is what has happened. But suddenly, today at the Supreme Court, the aeroplane driving CJN, Tanko Mohammed, the one that was not able to pass his WAEC. He did Islamic studies, yet he couldn't pass Arabic, or rather Islamic religious studies. He couldn't pass English. I don't know how he went ahead to study law. And this is a man, when he was being confirmed by the Senate, he was asked a question on technicalities. And he went off talking about how to drive aeroplane. And you ask yourself, people, since when does aeroplane drive? I thought, or rather we thought, that aeroplane can fly. We never knew he was driving to something. Now he has been driving aeroplane to the point that he has crashed his aeroplane in Imo State today. Aeroplane is crashed in Imo State. I mean, it's funny. This is what we call, in my view, this is nothing but judicial rascality. Judicial rascality. Emi Sami said this is very bad. Now, Hope Uzodinma, in the hierarchy of what I told you people, Hope Uzodinma came fourth. How come Hope Uzodinma, who came fourth, suddenly beat someone who came first? Remember, AA has already disqualified Rocha's in-law, that is Uche Nwosu. So he's no longer part of, he's no longer in the game. Now someone scored 96,000. Remember, what again? APC disqualified before the primaries, disqualified Hope Uzodinma. Hope Uzodinma did actually not contest any, they didn't campaign. So what they did was, in the eve of the day election happened, they took result sheets in hotels or to various hotels, and they obviously entered these things, the normal Nigerian way. But what happened thereafter was, by the time they brought it to the collation center, INEC rejected those results because those results were not properly, the elections were not properly done, the votes were not properly, documented. So as this happened, Hope Uzodinma and his team, eventually they went to court. You see, it's sad that I'm doing live video. If not, I have a video that I could have shown us. Actually, when Emeki Hedioha won, Hope Uzodinma was one of those that were rejoicing with him. I remember vividly, I told a friend of mine when I saw that, I said, wow, politicians. Even this evening, another video surfaced where Okorocha and Hope Uzodinma are actually rejoicing, singing with 27 Imo State House of Assembly men. People, is it not time you people buy sense? If you don't have sense, buy one. Leave politicians alone. They are all the same. We saw Nihu Ribadu over the weekend. Nivu Ribadu, the former EFCC chairman, the one pursuing thieves. Suddenly, his son was getting married, and all the thieves in Nigeria assembled in Yola, in Adamawa State, in Abuja, to attend to his son's marriage. Yet these are people that have divided you to the point that you no longer speak to your brother, to your sisters. What has happened to us as a people? Look at it. It is sad what has happened today. Honestly, it is sad. When I look at this, I, think this is abysmal and this is unbelievable. How can someone who came forth suddenly be the person to be declared winner? Argument is that they have, in the same way, added all those votes cancelled by INEC, those votes that INEC have declared null and void. Appeal court upheld it. Now Supreme Court overturned it. Some of you will say that Mbaka was, the prophecy by Mbaka that Mbaka it's now authentic. It's only for those who are not informed, not for people like us. What Mbaka, or the prophecy that he said, this guy will win, is part of those gimmicks. Mbaka is privy to some of the informations. You guys that might be, hurting yourself online, Mbaka is privy to some informations. There isn't no freaking spirit speaking anywhere. He knows. He knows. I made the prediction. I said, if this comes to pass, as Mbaka said, that means he has a direct link to those that make decision. Now, I want to take this conversation a little bit higher. Now, and I want to look at it from Southern Nigeria as a collective. Is it not interesting to you that suddenly, while the Igbo nation is dealing with this electoral abracadabra, the Southwest also got hit? The thing the Southwest has been, mounting all the time, that they have a regional security outfit, has been squashed. Yesterday, we celebrated 50 years of the end of the Biafran War. Woloshenka, in one of the Nzukomuna's events in Lagos, was lauding and saying that this is the best New Year present that the Yoruba nation has given in the last couple of years. He was praising the establishment of this vigilante outfit without knowing. Oh, I want to see Woloshenka's face this evening. He was actually praising without knowing that there is something in the oven. There is something cooking. They are cooking a soup for him. And this evening, as I've said before, the federal government basically scrapped Operation Amotekun. Why am I not getting the name right? Amotekun. Yeah, Amotekun. That security outfit is illegal. So if I look at the news report, actually, because the Minister of Justice, that is Malami, actually, briefed and made that known today. And the statement reads that the newly formed Operation Amotekun in the Southwest has been scrapped by the federal government barely 1 week after the governors from that region came together to launch the security outfit to improve security in that region. I am not begrudging my Yoruba brothers, but there is something here I've said to a friend of mine in a private conversation today, and I will repeat that here. And what I've said to my friend today was that Yorubas actually shot themselves in the foot. The Yorubas actually shot themselves in the foot. What do I mean? Now, listen very attentively here. If you go back and get the logo of the Amotekun, you will see men holding guns. Slightly sense is a indirect signal of something, of an armed group of sort. That doesn't mean that that they shouldn't bear, they wouldn't bear arm. And the way the Yorubas hyped it, some of my Igbo brothers have been saying, "Oh, Igbos, you see, we are not doing anything, and this." I said, "No, no, 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 no. We are doing something, and we have been doing something." I am from Anambra State. I gave an analogy this evening how Anambra State handled security in Anambra State without making noise. Remember, there was a time under Chris Ngige and under Ojuzo Kalu, it was too rampant, and that people couldn't, if you couldn't be seen moving with black polythene. It doesn't matter the content, you'll be shot. Once that started happening, what did the governors do? They established the Bakassi without making noise. Suddenly, boom, activities began. It got to a point under Mbadunuju that a lawyer in Onitsha lost his life with that of the wife. So the federal government came in, started looking into it. Eventually, Nguge took over, and the states started thinking how to legalize it. And what Anambra State did was what I was expecting the Yorubas to do if they were too smart. Anambra State established the Anambra Vigilante Services, AVGS, Anambra State Vigilante Services. They use what we call walking stick and granite. If you don't know what that is, walking stick and granite, that's what they use. If you don't know what that is, sorry, I can't help you. Find someone, a proper Igbo person, he would understand what I mean by walking stick and granite. And Anambra State did two things. They backed whatever they were doing they backed it with law. Meaning, the state assembly had to pass law empowering Anambra State's indigents within the 177 towns, or rather communities in Anambra State, to have such vigilante service. So it's because if we understand the way the government works, we have this federal, you have state, and you have the local government. Each have the laws that they can deal with. But what we do not have is a Southeast as a collective. There is no law you can say this law is for Southeast, rather it's individual state. So that's where the Southwest already started failing, because what they are doing is for the whole Southwest. And one thing again, where I personally fault what the Southwest was doing is the hype was unnecessary. For a very long time, your lands were invaded. You virtually were helpless. You did nothing. When the Fulani headsmen overran your place, when they killed the daughter of Fosaranti, when your land was overrun, You went in for a long while, people were expecting you to do something and you did nothing. Then you come out, we thought at least something like, personally, that's my personal view, something like what Enugu State has done or what Anambra State has done, which is Enugu State has done very well. They have the forest guards. Anambra State has the Anambra State Vigilante. Other states is on the works. That's a very better approach as opposed to having a superstructure. Having that superstructure gives the impression of a people preparing to, um, in Nigerian context, preparing to do something sinister. And obviously, immediately you can see how the federal government have moved against that. But had the Yorubas within their respective states passed their, vigilante laws, this wouldn't have happened. Secondly, it might equally interest you that, the whole Yoruba nation is talking about arming these people with 120 trucks, that's Hilux vans. I laugh. I say only 120 for what's it called? At 6 states. 6 states. Only the state of Ogun is almost the size of, or more than half of the entire southeast. Whereas Anambra State, in one swoop, under the former governor Peter Obi, had over 200 vehicles given to the vigilantes. Only one state. And the whole of Yoruba nation has only 120 vehicles, and we can't hear anything. In the last week, everywhere, sometimes one thing I think sometimes we lack is tact. There are things I believe if you want to do them, you don't need the press, you don't need to make noise. Obviously, when Anambra State did Anambra Vigilante Services, there was no noise. It went on quietly, law passed, innocent vehicles, over 200 to the vigilante services, over 100 vehicles to the Nigerian police forces. That is how people who are smart. Now to my brothers. Some of you will be saying, no, Igbos are keeping quiet and Yorubas are forming this and they're doing that. And I say, wow, how our senses has just flown from the window overnight. No, I do not think that making noise is strategy. Making noise is not strategy. Sadly, the Yorubas in this case have shot themselves in the foot. Now, it is the battle of the Royale. They can go to court or they find another means. I had an argument this evening by Olufalaye saying that the law establishing the forest guard could handle this. Then the question is, why did you not anchor them under forest guard? Why did you, make so much noise to make it a regional thing, as if you're forming a regional army, getting ready to separate yourself, whereas you know who you're dealing with? But now for the South as a collective, question is, are you guys surprised? In one day, today, the 13th of, is it 13th or 14th? Freaking me. Today is the 14th of January 2020. In one day, the master strokers, the master strategists of this nation, without saying anything, used an aeroplane driving Chief Justice of your country to destabilize you. A man that came forth. Somehow he did an abracadabra. He won the election. No one saw that coming. Okay? Southern Nigeria, you're licking your wound to die. Sometimes I say, I wish this Buhari self, I wish he can pepper us more. I wish there is a way he can squeeze it more so that everybody that voted for him would have a feeling We just have a feeling how this thing tastes. So that next time, don't worry, Bonu is loading. Afterwards, Sokoto will load. PDP, anyway, those ones are no longer opposition. Because PDP, I don't know, maybe they only exist in Twitter. Because that appears the only thing they can do is to exist now on Twitter and tweet. That's all. That's all. And we are here. People, all of you Nigerians, all adults, and you've been treated this way. In the Imo State, brace yourself up. Your governor, the new governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, is on administrative bail. Remember, you and I will come online blaming others for what has happened. Yet, the same Hope Uzodimma was the one given the money to dredge the Calabar seaport. Ask yourself, I want to buy a keke napep from America. It cannot come to the southeast. It can't come to the south-south. It cannot come to the south. You only have to go through Lagos. But there was a man who was given money to dredge Calabar seaport. Think about $12 million. And what happened? And here we are. If this man is able to do justice to this money, about that money, okay, Imo State, I pity Imo State. I think it's the most unlucky state in the whole southeast. For 8 years, it was an Iberiberai state, a state of Nzuzuism, a state of Iberibeism. Anything that is, somehow. Emeki Hodeha came in, not that I support any politician, but at least for the fact that Okorocha was not able to install his son-in-law, and maybe for some of the things, at least I was in Imo State over the weekend, and I don't know, but that's normal. They are Abracadabra. They just have maybe because of people that came for Christmas, they have a lot of road construction going on in Imo, where I thought to myself, I never trust these politicians. Is he doing this because people came for Christmas, or is this really wanting to do something for the people of Imo State? But suddenly, here we are. Here we are. So, the crux of the matter is, number one, the Imo State people, they have given you one blow, 7 apples. One blow, 7 apples. At the same time, we're still confused about where this blow came from. And I told people, this blow came from that man that drives the aeroplane. The man that could not pass his own WAEC. But he drives aeroplane on technicalities. And this same aeroplane that he drives, he crashed it in Imo State. And you can see the result. Now, you are hoping. Imo State, you are hoping. And before Imo State knew what it was doing, the whole and the entire southwest region, they gave them from the other side as well. Wallahi, I said, welcome to Nigeria. Welcome to Nigeria. We've been saying it. We've been saying it. Maz says, okay, I have been saying it. Let us go for regional government. Yoruba, stay on your own. Igbo, stay on your own. The way we had it in 1963. The way the nation was when we had independence. It's an impossibility for us to do. The coup of 1965 messed things up. And so far, those that have upper hand no longer want to revert to the former status quo. And here we are. We had the time to basically hold the nation down and say, we will no longer take part in anything until we revert back to something the whole union would agree. Or we can say to your tent, O Israel, there are nations less than 5 million and they survive. They don't die. But here we are, you are 200 million. As Labaja will say, or as Charlie Ball will say, 200 million mumus. Let us keep mumuing. And they will continue. They will continue. They will continue using you and I. When can we buy sense? We will have to. We have to buy sense, common sense. Sometimes, in fact, the way they look us now, buy sense. The whole southern Nigeria come together. No. What is wrong with you? Why can't you people just come together? The whole southern Nigeria come together, boycott whatever these people are saying. No, you can't. Because you're all jostling for vice president. Vice president. Shame on you. Shame. You're jostling for vice president. Look at people that have oil. This evening, I saw another video of Wike. He brought traditional rulers to government house and we're just talking rubbish to them, insulting them. And you think, yet this is people sitting, the real owners of the land. Real owners of the land. We have seen it. Listen, sometimes, anyway, let me not say on air sometimes what I think. But that country don't tire me. It cannot wake up a single day and you hear something pleasant. It's only, I asked somebody this evening on a conversation, a friend of mine, a celebral friend, I asked a very simple question. Why is it that a section of this nation will never agree on anything equity? Why? Why is it that a section of this country cannot agree if we have 6 items? Why would that section not say, okay, you take 1, I take 1, we are 6? Why must he want to take 1 and want to take 2, want to take 3, and now probably suggest that 3 of you will go and share 3? Or even take 4, 5, 6 and say, okay, or the rest, go and share 1. Why is it an impossibility for us to just simple thing, meritocracy, by merit, equity, fairness? Is it too much to ask? Some of you watching, you're not able. But just like my sister, my good sister, Onyeka Onwenu said yesterday at the event in Lagos, you cannot hate the Igbos. You can't just hate them for no just reason. Listen, sometimes I just get too upset. How can you, please tell me. Now let's engage ourselves. I think I've given the basis of my discussion this evening. So if you're able to go online now, let us talk. Let me, let's make this conversation an interactive one. I can now read your comment and I respond. Okay, so let's make this conversation. Naji Alexander said Nigeria is a joke. If Nigeria is a joke, it will be better. Nigeria is an amusement park. If it's a joke, it will be better. But it is an amusement park. It's beyond joke. Emi Sami Mazi, we understand what you mean by walking stick and granite. Okay, thank God we have people with gray matters in between their brains. So that means I'm communicating. It was good. The Amotekun effort was launched. It was also good that it got a reaction from the federal government. It sets up the next stage in the solution of Nigeria. Hopefully. It remains to be, I don't want to say something now. My good Yoruba friends would say I don't respect them. But what would I say? I can only tell us that I think the war, the fight is already finished. It's already finished. If you're expecting to see something dramatic, I'm sorry I'll disappoint you. It's gone. Nothing. If you're waiting to see that, okay, now it's Amotekun is dissolved, then you're going to get to the next level. I'm disappointing you. There is no next level. That's how cowardly. That's how cowardly we are. It's finished. Because something will happen. You think the whole nation is charged up. Everybody move. That's it. Listen, go and just, if you are in Nigeria, go buy hero, drink. Don't take anybody serious. Don't take anyone serious. Because in Imo State now, you see people are jubilating. And you ask yourself, who are these people jubilating? Who? So unlucky in that state that from one Iberiberism to another, the state is so unlucky. Anambra State was better until we thought we made a leap, and we are where, if I borrow the Vice Osibanjo's, I say we are where. So you see where Anambra State is now. Clifford Okoye says, Mazibiko, just give up. I've given up, my brother. I think I'm joining you in giving up, because there is nothing. Honestly, there is nothing. Some of you thinking, no, the Yorubas they're going. Nothing is finished. So better go do better things. There is nothing. Ejike, the country is a big mess, for real. Always bad. Nah. The whole it's not even about bad news. It's just the thing is that the whole southern Nigeria has been taken for a ride. Professor Chidodin Kano said on Twitter this evening that he thinks by the time this grand plan is finished, go to his Twitter handle, it's there. This about an hour ago or an hour 30 minutes. By the time the grand plan is finished, APC will have about 24 to 25 states. Therefore, you will begin to see the signs of third term. Why? I said, because is it possible that this man can make it fourth term self? People are saying Igbo president. I said, is it possible that after Buhari, even if he doesn't want to do third term, another Northerner will come? You must buy sense. Oh, don't worry. You people must buy sense by force. You must buy sense. You must buy sense. Now make I laugh, Jare. Uche Lemchi, Elizabeth Joseph, put on your thinking cap. There is nothing like backup prophecy, please. Just listen. Who is this person called Elizabeth Joseph? And you believe this nonsensical crap that Mbaka did nothing like that? People all job. Mbaka was privy. I made a post on Saturday and I said, come Monday, because this judgment was meant to be delivered yesterday. I said, come Monday. If the judgment goes this way, it means if you look at all the antecedents, the way Mbaka has been moving with hope, Uzodimma. Remember when he insulted Peter Obi for not giving him money? Remember, he made that prophecy because Peter Obi didn't drop money. Peter Obi said, okay, I'll give you money in secret, but not openly. But he wanted Peter Obi to do an open donation. So that's how the genesis of the whole thing. So God does not do pick and choose. God wouldn't just because Peter Obi didn't drop money, suddenly Hope Uzodimma will become governor. That's the genesis of the soul. Since then, and Hope Uzodimma, actually, because many of us forget so easily. Remember that even on that incident, Mbaka actually and also said, or rather, Hope Uzodinma promised Mbaka that they will build, I think there was a health whatever at the adoration ground. The question is, go to adoration ground, has that been built? And remember, there was a timeline for that. That was 1st of January 2019. Now we've gone past 1 year, yet there is no foundation to build it. You see, these men are all fraud. Mbaka see nothing. He's as blind as anybody looking at watching me now, because what is he seeing? What does he? Let me not speak like Zebediah. What does he saw? This one says Mbaka is fake. I don't want to use my mouth and say it, but it's for is people with low IQ that will believe such nonsensical crap. This is not good. Why all the politicians in Igbo land are behaving like Momo? Until we begin to do justice to them. Until we begin to do justice to them. Anyway, I don't know. It's a conversation, people. So if you want to make it interactive, you push your comment, read them. We can, have, I think I have about 18 minutes more, then I'll call it a day. We'll go sleep. They continue with what they do with us. But you and I can decide to say no to this nonsense. That's why within my own capacity, I've decided, because since we do not have a nation of our own, and if we must stay here, I have decided to hold those that we have elected within the 5 southeastern states accountable. How do I hold them accountable? Go from site to site, look at those places that they say they do job for us, and expose them. That's all. You can join me in doing that. Collectively, we can run them out of town. There is nothing they can do. Okay? So religion is whatever you call it. It is a big shame. How do we move on from here? Excellent question, John Okoye. How do we move on from here? That means you're clued on. How do we move on from here? That is an excellent question. Anybody has any answer? Do you have an answer? Do you have an answer? Mbaka is APC man. Of course, he's a card carrying member. These guys can never repent, of course. Why would they repent? They are there sharing this money among themselves. But the only thing that actually, baffles me is that in one day, they are able to deal with the whole South. That means the Southeast and the Southwest. Now the Southwest has no vigilante group automatically. That's what it means. I think they made a lot of noise, unnecessary noise. Honestly, the hype was too much. So much hype with no content. There was no documents showing how they were going to operate. There was no legislation passed by the region or by the state regulating the activities of the Amotekun or whatever. It was just hype. So now the federal government shut it down. So some of my brothers, and when you say that Igbos do not have strategy, you say, you guys don't. So, I don't want to engage us in public debate when we say that we don't have strategy. That is not true. We do, but it appears we do not appreciate the things we do have. We do not appreciate the things we do have. I keep using my own state of Anambra as an example. We've been in the East now for 3 weeks plus, and there hasn't been any incident in Anambra State. It's not by accident. Something happened. In Igbo, we say, Ife melu ede, ede juwe benwe. We didn't just have peace. It didn't just fall from heaven. something happened. And that thing that happened is something that is well planned. It's not public. So I had expected, because when the North have their, is it Hashish or Habib or whatever, the Sharia police, they don't hype it. It's about strategy. You don't hype it. Okay? And they don't hype it because, you see, honestly, you saw pictures flying around. They say, Amotekun, they have people with gun like this. You draw them. Ooh. Of course, it's going to draw attention. But you could have done these things. You could have, draw nothing. Just put no picture. Depict it with nothing. Just make sure you cover your basics. And you had more than enough time. Now it has, the convolution is, it will become more complex to fix it now that the federal government has shut it down. One, it will involve legal, going to court and blah, blah, blah. Well, I keep saying it. We have to be very smart to, let some things lie low, keep it low, do not hype it. Not everything that you must read in the media. And I tell you, you come to a stage in life and you come to a stage, you look at informations that are available to you, you begin to understand. That's why we have it in Igbo, we have what we call obodi. That those who are not initiated in the masquerade thing. He who is obodi will not understand what you mean. He who is obodi does not know why the masquerade moves with the Igbo. He who is obodi does not know why in the village square he will be asked to move with Edeli or lantern. He will think it is just because the Edeli or the lantern brightens enough. No. He does not know the societal engineering behind using those lanterns. He does not know the ancient science behind a masquerade using Igbo, especially at night. I'll leave it at that. That's a conversation, very deep, only for those who are initiated to understand. If you don't know, sit down, think deep. Why does a masquerade, when he goes maybe after performance, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, everywhere is pitch dark, you can see what is happening? And that masquerade sits back. While walking, you hear much of Igbo. Nyangli, some call them Atangli, or some call Bell. Warning everyone that masquerade is coming. It's just for you to do what? To stay clear. It's wisdom, ancient wisdom. These are things we need to learn. Emi Sami said, even his bus is operating peacefully in the north. Of course, they are operating peacefully. Maybe you're missing the point, my brother. It's not that they are not operating peacefully. And I have no doubt that this one is going to operate peacefully. The moment the Mieti Allah, the moment the whole northern groups started attacking these as a means, as something that was going to be against them, something was happening. But there was, if the Yorubas were smarter, not that they are not smart, but if they are a little bit smarter than the way they've gone about this, it wouldn't have gotten this attention. And by now, it will be in full operation. And the moment I heard that they're going to have only 120 vehicles divided by, what's it called? Divided by 6. Come on. 120, that's 20 per state. It means absolute nothing. This is not community policing. Anambra State, for instance, had, when they started their own vigilante, had over 200 vehicles. Each community had one. Anambra has 177 communities. Now, some communities like Newi or Nature, Ekulobia, those suburban areas have more than one. And that's the way you do things, anchor them in law, it doesn't give you much of this problem that we see today. Nzadi Nazi said, "This is why I stopped being a Christian because of Mbakaka. Now I'm reconsidering being black because of social identity." Oh God, you cracked me up, brother. You cannot change your skin color because some of us are being purely daft. You know, you can't just do that. That your comment cracked me up. I must say, don't allow one person shape your identity. Yes, I agree with you, and guys, Mbaka is a member of APC. Just reviewed that I am convinced beyond doubt that Mbaka was privy to the information that was going to happen in Imo State. Well, you can argue with me, but that's what I think. I believe in. I believe Mbaka had some pre-knowledge of what was going to happen. So, in the absence of that, if you have any more comments, contribution, questions, if not, I will call it a day. Okay. It will take Nigeria 40 years to recover from the mistakes of 2015. The problem with Nigeria is that foolish ones are very sure. I don't know if we would actually recover in 40 years because the problem is that in the last 5 years, impunity has not only gone to the market, impunity has gone to where they sell clothes, cut some clothes, gone back to the tailor, given it to the tailor, and the tailor has made a big agbada out of the impunity. Now the impunity wears agbada. You thought it stopped there. Impunity ran away, went to the shopping mall, bought perfume. Now impunity is perfumed. Problem is that the perfume of this impunity is not a toilette. It is a perfume, a real oil perfume that will take ages to clear. It's not going to clear. An example that I gave to a friend this evening is equally that the impunity has permeated the system that we currently have is even if a sultan becomes a president for 10 years in Nigeria, it will be controlled by the North. Example, only Castina in DSS recruitment recruits, only one state recruits twice what the whole southern Nigeria recruits. Twice. The implication is any president that comes in, as DSS is under the presidency and they protect the president, they will be the ones protecting the president, irrespective of where you come from. And that's what I say. Why is a section of this country, why do they derive joy in injustice? Why? Why does a section of this country not like anything called justice, equity, and fairness? Meaning, if we have 12 things to share them equally. Why would they always try to look for someone else to take their own share? Now, the little we will get, or the one we get, you and I, because of our docility, we will allow these cucumbers and carrots governing us to pocket the rest. Then you come online, you start insulting yourself. You start insulting your brother. You start insulting your sister. We have to change our ways. Our problem is multi-layered. Now, comment from Emmanuel Mado. It will take Nigeria 40 years. Okay, sorry. Amy Sami, Mazi, you are right. Impunity has indeed one cloth. Chinedu, because they own the country called Nigeria. Wow, it is unbelievable what is happening. But here we are. What has happened? It is a sad day. Everyone with common sense in this nation must be sad because today indeed is a sad day. A sad day. A sad day, the day someone who came forth in an election suddenly, not even the second, not even the third, but someone who came forth, aeroplane driving, CJN has crashed in Imo State. The aeroplane that we are driving has crashed, and that crash landed in Imo State. Oh, the whole South do not what says we don't know what we're doing. Mazi, the APC people send back out to send hope Uzodinma. Well, I don't know why we even pay much attention to Mbaka actually. For me, non-existento. You know, whatever he says. This is somebody who says under Chimaroke that Chimaroke would not win second term, and he did win. So it's tumbom in my own view. What he does is tumbom. So it doesn't. Yeah, Emi Sami says, I'm from Imo State. I'm heartbroken. Well, sorry. Go and get yourself one bottle of Opa and calm down. There is nothing you can do. There is absolutely nothing you can do. Because the way it is Supreme Court. So, and if equally, the situation is somewhat helpless because there is nothing the Imo people can do as it is now. And please, my people, let no one go to the streets. None of these politicians is worth not even your sweat, talk less of your blood. Do not lose your life for any of them. Do not go on the streets, even if when they will try to do that, do not do that because it means absolutely nothing. Anyway, once more, people, I will let us be. Mazes, okay. Signing off. Enjoy your evening and enjoy the things that has happened. Okay, the Southwest has been knocked. The Southeast has been knocked. Let's all hope by the time we sleep and wake up that something else doesn't come up. But I can tell us free of charge that something is cooking. By the time they finish with us, next time when we see ballot boxes, we will vote wisely. And those I'm not even telling the Igbos to vote wisely because I like the way and I must commend them the way they voted. So is those that put us in this mess, and I will say enjoy the change and enjoy the next level. So go and buy seat belts. This next level, as you see, you go need ogbenge belt because the thing will go happen for this next level. You don't see as you don't they start with Imo State. Meanwhile, for Kano, the one where they see for Kolo for video, they start money for Imagbada. Nobody talking anything. Today, Supreme Court, Afama, say no shaking. Rather, now the one where they give money, make you go do dredge Calabar Seaport. It goes out the money. And they say now he go be your governor. They better mail Montreal location on the email. I will leave it at that. And I'll say good night to everybody. When peace out.